O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile until the Son of God appear. You see, until the Son of God appeared, we were in captivity. We were in bondage. We were enslaved to Satan, to sin, to ourselves. The coming of Emmanuel means the end of captivity. We've been set free. We've been ransomed. We've been redeemed. We've been delivered. Until the Son of God appeared, we were in exile. That word means to banish or expel from one's own country or home, to drive away. We were in exile. You say, where are we in exile from? Well, Alfred Lord Tennyson said in his poem, The Palace of Art, we were exiled from eternal God. Banished, expelled from the heart and the home of God, driven away by our sin. It had put us in exile from eternal God. Until the Son of God appeared, we were in exile. But the coming of Emmanuel means the end of exile. We're no longer alienated. We're no longer separated from God, no longer separated from one another. Ephesians 2:19 says, you are no longer strangers and aliens, but you are fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of God. Through Emmanuel, we have been brought back home, out of exile, back to the heart and home of God. Until the Son of God appeared, as this stanza tells us, we were lonely. Mourns in lonely exile here. We were alienated. We were separated from God and others. But the coming of Emmanuel means the end of aloneness. You may be a single mom. You may be a widow. You may be a never married woman in your 50s who's longing for companionship, longing for someone to be there with you. You may be living with a huge house full of people and still feel lonely and alienated because perhaps the people that you share a home with don't share your faith or your love for Christ. You feel alienated, separated, lonely, and a lot of lonely people around the holidays, right? Some sitting listening to my voice today. But the coming of Emmanuel means the end of aloneness. God is with us. And as Jesus, Emmanuel himself said, as he went back to heaven, he assured his disciples who were terror-stricken, they were distraught, they were grieved, they didn't want to be without Jesus. And he said to them, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Emmanuel, God with us. He lives in that home with you. He lives in that nursing home with you, or that assisted living facility, or that college dorm room where you feel like you are swimming against the stream, alone in your faith for the Lord. God is with you. Emmanuel is with you to the end of the age.